What is happening, guys? Welcome to FPL Tactics, where we look to master the beautiful game of FPL. Now, firstly, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and give it a like. It's free for you, but it's also motivation for me. It makes a huge difference to the channel, so it's much appreciated. Today, we're going to talk about Game Week 24 and 25 with all the doubles. Transfers to bring in, and also finally captaincy. So as I said, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. So this is basically game week 24 and how it looks at the moment. 75 points. I'm extremely happy with that. Obviously, we've had some great performers throughout the week as well. So we'll go through them. Martinez, 2 points. I wasn't expecting that much, to be honest. I'm glad that we chose him over Areola after that performance against Arsenal. Ake was a big differentiator. Obviously, I missed out on the points with Saliba. I don't think I would ever have put him into the team, considering I've got Ake, Arnold, and Trippier in defence, and every single one of them returned. It was just unfortunate that Arnold and Trippier didn't get the clean sheet, but I'm very happy with that. Ake was a bit of a differentiator as well. Obviously, it would have been nice to have the Saliba points, but it is what it is. It was kind of a like for like, really, with Ake and Saliba. But yeah, the defence really they came through, which is fantastic. Richarlison, I mean, it would have been nice if he had 8 out of 8 games with goals, but I do think like the likes of Son coming back is playing a factor in his goal threat. So I think that's something to think about, and I'm definitely thinking about also maybe taking him out for a double game week player as well. Foden, again, I was hoping that he would, when he started, I was really happy actually, but it was unfortunate that he didn't actually make any returns, but he did look good in the game. Palmer, I mean, he's just so consistent. No matter how bad Chelsea are playing, that first half against Crystal Palace was horrendous. But they somehow pulled it out of the bag. Conor Gallagher, what a player. And Palmer, just everything is running through him. If he's not assisting, he's scoring. What a player. Definitely someone that you need to have in your team. I know it's difficult. He's got a couple of blank game weeks coming up. So that is something to think about. But yeah, he is a player where the whole thing is running through him. The whole Chelsea team, I would say, if there's something going to happen, whether it's just scoring a goal or the build up play, Palmer is always involved. So he's a player that you should be looking at. Jota, I mean, Mr. Consistent as well when it comes to scoring goals. Since Salah's been away, he's really taken over. It will be interesting how he fits into the team and how his role changes when Salah comes back. But for now, we're taking it. We're very happy with that. Solanke, yeah, I mean, he got the assist. I think he got the assist. Let me just double check that. I think he did. But yeah, I mean, would I have played Saliba over Solanke? Probably not. But yeah, yeah, he got the assist as well. But yeah, not a bad game week for him. Haaland, I was so happy that we captained him. I actually said this in my video that he's probably going to score a brace or a hat trick in the last video because he blanked the game week before. He's that sort of player that just gets frustrated and he just starts scoring goals. Watkins, I was surprised at though. I thought he would get a goal at least against Man United because they were looking light in the defence. I mean, they always seem to be leaking goals, but yeah, Man United somehow made it happen, and they're not looking too bad. Man United, it maybe is something to think about because they are starting to click, which seems to be a surprise for a lot of people, and definitely a lot of people are not bringing in Manchester United players. I have seen Garnacho on a few teams actually, who kind of is becoming a bit of a Palmer-like player, but I just think maybe a little bit too soon to move on that as well. But yeah, when Gordon started, I thought what a differential, and I was actually a little bit gutted that I hadn't kept him in the team because I was just going to keep him there anyway. But now I'm happy he planked because he was on the bench. So happy days. Yeah, but 75 points, very happy with that. That means I'm at 210k overall at the moment, which is, I think we've actually grown 200k in the rank over the last 2 game weeks, which is huge. But it just shows you because actually before the Arsenal game, I was at 130k. And it just shows you that how close the actual ranks are at the moment because basically I think the Saka 10 pointer put me down to 210k. So yeah, it just shows if you get the right captain or you get a differential player in there. So a lot of people took Saka out. Then it makes a huge difference to your game week. So it just shows you that we've got a lot of potential to go up in the ranks. I'm very happy with that. And so let's have a look at the transfers. So this is how my team is looking like before the game week, the double game week, basically coming up. So the players that we have are Ake, Arnold, Foden, and Haaland, and Jota. Now, I would like one more Liverpool player in the team. I am contemplating Ivan Toney, so I'm actually going to be posting another video on a free hit, basically the chip strategy, because it's kind of a crazy time. It's really hard to know what to do. Should we dead end our teams now and then see out the blank game week with a free hit, and then um, look to wild card maybe around about game week 29 when we've got the big blank game week, and then sort of kick on from there. Also the bench boost as well. So I do have a few ideas of a simple way to do that, because sometimes it's kind of paralysis by analysis and sort of looking at it over and over and then not doing anything, which is kind of partly what I feel like I'm doing now. But yeah, I've got a plan at the moment. Definitely what I'm going to do is take out Richarlison and put Diaz in. I just wanted to see if there was any late team news and so on, but that is probably 99% the decision I'm going to make, because I wanted to change like for like, meaning Richarlison and Diaz are going to be blanking the next game week, but I was looking at Darwin, but then I would have to take a playing player next week to get Darwin in, who's going to blank. So I didn't want to do that, and I think if Diaz will play, which he looks dangerous, he looks actually that he could bring just as much, if not more, than in Darwin, and also he's a differential. So I think he'll definitely play at least one of those double game weeks, if not both. Especially because he hasn't had so many minutes, and it's a crazy time. So usually he plays in those times. So, and when he does play, he is dangerous. So I think he's a good option. And yeah, let's see. Hopefully he will play, and there's no any news that's coming out that he's injured or anything like that. So that's kind of the idea and the plan for the transfer. Will I be free hitting or bench boosting or anything like that? The bench boost is a potential idea, but depending on what I do with Taylor, he's one of those annoying players that also might be playing. So I just don't think it's the right timing for a bench boost. I think when I kick down the weeks, maybe in a few game weeks, there is a time where my team are all playing reasonable fixtures, and technically you might have a good bench, but it's almost impossible to predict. But um, I'll put out a separate video that's going to be talking about when to use your bench boost, when to use your free hit, when to use your wild card, and a kind of simple strategy that hopefully will be universal across a lot of the players in the game, because I think a lot of people don't really know what to do with it, or they have a rough idea but they're just not ready to pull the trigger yet. Also the captainship, that's a huge topic, so let's have a talk about that. So captaincy options, it's right now on Haaland. Obviously a lot of people are actually talking about Jota. He's on a lot of form, he's differential as well. I do feel like there is an element of danger. I don't know if this is the triple captain chip danger, meaning you're pressing the button and you're expecting just to not get points from it because you've clicked the chip. But it does seem very obvious to use it on Haaland. He's got a home fixture against Chelsea, who can't keep a clean sheet to save themselves. Again, Brentford, who are struggling now. They had a bit of success recently, but they are a struggling team really. And against Man City, I feel like they're well engineered for a Man City team, especially for a Haaland. So I just don't like the feeling of doing like for like. I feel like a lot of people are going to be triple captain in Haaland in this fixture, and I feel like I'm one of those players that likes to not do it and hope that you fail, so then I can use it later on to get an upside. But I just feel like he's gonna go big in this double game week. I really do, and the fear of that is making me want to use the triple captainship on him. I am tempted by Jota. I feel like he's probably the only other option that would compete with Haaland and probably could do more points if that is even possible. But I think it's a huge risk. A huge risk. You basically, if you put it on Jota, you're going to be praying that Haaland does not score and does not do well in those game weeks. But Yeah, I feel like that stress is going to be too much and it's unnecessary. I've had quite a few good green arrows. I think if I continue in the way I'm going and with the triple captain on Haaland, I'll get another green arrow, so it's going to move things in the right direction. I don't need the risk taking at the moment as well. So that's definitely something that I'm thinking about. I think, to be honest, the wise thing to do is to put it on Haaland. Yes, you can think about Jota, and sure, if you're like in your like mini league and you're like maybe 100 points behind, it is definitely a good way to make up the deficit. You could probably gain 40 to 60 points if you're in your mini league and you're behind, by captaining Jota and hoping that Haaland doesn't score. But at the same time, you could definitely be another maybe 150 points behind by the end of that game week if he doesn't work your way. So that's the risk you have to take, but it's definitely an option. It worked for me a few seasons ago. Do you remember Lacazette when he played for Arsenal? I mean, that feels like an absolute age away, but I did exactly that with Lacazette. I think he was playing like Sheffield United, and he scored a hat trick against them. So, or maybe it was a brace. But anyway, everyone captained the popular captain at the time, which I forget. And he scored a brace, and then I went up hugely in the ranks. I actually won the mini league that season as well. So it does make a big difference. Um, but yeah, it's a huge risk at the end of the day. So that's the thoughts on the captain as well. Hope you like it. Please, guys, do not forget to like and subscribe. Like I said, it's free for you, but it's motivation for me. It makes a huge difference to the channel. I really hope you're enjoying the content, and I'll catch you in the next video.